everyone, welcome to DigiMantra Unplugged. This is Richa, marketing head, and today we have a very special guest with us. A 20-year of experience in marketing and a passionate, growth and innovative. He led marketing strategy at top companies like AWS and won prestigious award like CMO of the Year. We have CEO of Evil Genius Games with us, David Scott. Hi, David. Thank you for joining us.
It is my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
David, we would love to know about your journey in the gaming world and about Evil Genius Games. Please let us know.
Yes. Well, Evil Genius Games creates tabletop board games that can not only be played in person like this, but also online. My journey started when I was 9 years old. I was in sixth grade, and I went away to camp, and that's when I learned how to play this game called Dungeons and Dragons. For those of you who don't know, Dungeons and Dragons is an imaginary role-play game where you get to play heroes. You get to play wizards and knights and paladins, and you get to defeat bad guys and grow your character and evolve your character over time. Little did I know that this little hobby of mine would still be with me 30, 40 years down the line. Even today, I still play this game with my friends from high school and college, and it is very much an important part of my life.
Definitely, Dave, this shows that how passionate you are for gaming. But then we all know that gaming industry is changing drastically. So what do you think how tabletop games has been, shifted and how Evil Genius is adapting that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought that the tabletop gaming industry, which is now, at least the part that we're in, is now 50 years old. Dungeons and Dragons was created by a gentleman named Gary Gygax back in the 1970s in a place called Geneva, Wisconsin, in the Midwest of the United States. And interestingly enough, it has persevered from then until now. A lot of people felt that video games would take over tabletop games, but it turns out it's just the opposite. While video games have been incredibly successful,
Right.
the beautiful part about tabletop games is that it brings us together, you and I together. And because of that, the tabletop gaming industry is actually growing faster than the video game industry.
That's an interesting point which you brought, and that leads to my second question that, in this domination of digital world, how you are branding tabletop game and how you are marketing and building strong personality for Evil Genius, brand.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? Like that the more technology that we have, the more we seek for human interaction, human connectedness. And I think that's what tabletop games provide. So when we think about being able to market our brand or market our products, what we think about really is that human element of bringing people together. And so you could probably imagine there are a couple really key techniques that we use in marketing. The first thing is social media influencers. Just getting people to actually play the game and see how the game is actually played over Twitch or over YouTube. It turns out to be a really, really great way for us to build and extend our brand.
Interesting to know. Can you let us more know about Evil Genius, what kind of games it is, how we can explore that kind of games? We would love to know more about that.
Yes. So our roots started in tabletop gaming, but more specifically, the role-playing game segment. So we compete with products like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and Starfinder and other really, really amazing companies and games just like that. The key difference with us is that we tell stories in the modern day. So instead of playing an elf wizard or an alien space explorer, you get to play your favorite action film stars. John Wick, Rambo, Vin Diesel and all the movies that he creates, because I love Vin Diesel. And so that's the real magic around the product that we create, which is called Everyday Heroes, is that being able to put you in that movie and action film environment where you could actually replay the movie the way that you want to actually play it.
Interesting. So you were saying that your games are more inspired or taken inspiration from movies. So is it your USP that you want to present in front of the gamers?
Yeah, I mean, so I love Dungeons and Dragons, which is based on fantasy. If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, if you're a fan of J.R.R. Tolkien, if you're a fan of, the Game of Thrones, then Dungeons and Dragons is your thing. But what about the people who want to live the movies? And that's what I love. I'm in a movie theater every Friday night watching a new film because I love the medium of film. And what we get to do is we get to put you in those shoes so that you could think about what you would do if you were that action star that you're watching on the silver screen.
Interesting. So, do you have any message for people who are more into playing video games and digital games on phone games? How do you want to target those audience to encourage them to play, tabletop games and join Evil Genius game mode?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, role-playing games inside of video games is a very popular genre. Some of my favorite games, I could think of Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, Far Cry. Those are all role-playing games that are built on Fallout, that are built on this role-playing game concept where you get to embody a character and you get to explore what it is to be that character in this fantasy realm. But I gotta tell you, the old problem and the restriction with video game role-playing games is that it's restricted to only what they could program. So if you want to go right, but the story tells you to go left, you got to go left.
Correct.
The beautiful thing about you and I play, where I'm the game master or the narrator, you're the player, is that you can go and do whatever you want. You can solve the problem however you want to solve it. And the more creative, the better. And that the ability to sort of unshackle yourself from the constraints of the narrator is the real magic with what you do with tabletop role-playing games like the ones that we create.
Interesting. So, how you differentiate Evil Genius from its competitors?
Well, first of all, I've got tremendous respect for all my competitors. I still play Dungeons and Dragons every single week. I still play Starfinder, still play Pathfinder. Each of them has a very special place in my heart. But I think what we do better than anyone else particularly is that modern day genre. And by modern day, what I mean is everything from sort of like the industrial age to near future. So everything from sort of, Sherlock Holmes to Pirates of the Caribbean, all the way to one of my favorite movies, which is Edge of Tomorrow. And so that's what we do really well. And we think that we do it better than anyone else. So that's our key differentiator.
So you're saying the storytelling, the way you connect people in your game is the USP for Evil Genius.
And the world that we've created, which is very unique and very specific to the modern day world that's around us today.
And it sounds really exciting. So what do you think, what will be the future of tabletop gaming industry?
Well, first of all, I really hope that there's still space for people to get around a dinner table with their friends and family and play live. That's the real magic of it. However, for those people like me where my best friend has moved away, the people I play with are no longer in my city, we want to be able to create an environment where you could recreate that special experience of being physical, but to do it anywhere in the world and to do it with whoever you want to do it with. Play it with wherever you want to play it with. And I think that's the real future, is being able to provide that alternative that brings people together in a way that a good old-fashioned board game night does, but also provides the flexibility of you being able to play wherever you are and in whatever you want. If you want to play in pajamas, you can. And if you want to play with someone halfway across the world, you can. And I think that's the thing that we're trying to do here with Everyday Heroes and Evil Genius games.
So in this crowded space, as you mentioned, that you're hoping for that there will be the space for it. So in this crowded space, how you are planning to market tabletop games?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a couple things that we've learned when we created this product. And what we found is that if we can get someone to try the product, they fall in love with it. So we talk about a traditional marketing funnel, which you and I live every single day.
Yes, absolutely.
That magic moment, that first step moment is the play. So if we can get someone to a table to play it, whether that be at a gaming convention, and by the way, there are over 500 gaming conventions that happen worldwide, or at a local gaming store, or even online, that becomes that first opportunity to make that person a lifetime customer. And what's really unique about our industry versus a video game or versus a board game like Monopoly is that people play the same character for years and years and years.
Yeah.
That character grows, evolves, changes, ages, accomplishes new tasks, introduced to new challenges. It's less of a game, and it's more of a hobby or a lifestyle. And that's the really unique value proposition that tabletop gaming provides, specifically tabletop role-playing games.
I agree that user experience build, helps in marketing and branding. So, how your, expansion plan? What is your expansion plan?
Well, first of all, the first thing we did is we created a good game. I'm very proud of the fact that our game has over 1,000 five-star reviews across websites that rate games like ours. And you and I were joking a little bit earlier that it's always good to market something that works than something that doesn't work. And being in tech, I marketed my fair share of vaporware, as it was called, right? So that's the first place. But then the second place is being able to get that out so that more and more people can try it. Whether or not they're actually watching someone play on Twitch for YouTube, or whether or not they have the opportunity to play themselves, I believe that that's the very first step of a strong customer journey.
Absolutely. So, would you like to tell our audience that how DigiMantra is helping in your expansion and what is the role of what you experience with us?
Absolutely. So when we decided that we were going to take the journey to migrate from physical board games and physical tabletop to digital, we needed a partner to be able to augment our development team. And after an RFP process, we felt quite strongly that DigiMantra was the right partner for us. And 2 to 3 years later, we couldn't be happier. Not only do we have a dedicated software development team that could help us realize our vision, but they're more like family. I've gotten to know the developers over the years. I've gotten to know the owners over the years. And they really take a tremendous amount of pride and care in the products that we're actually delivering. And I think that's the DigiMantra difference.
Absolutely, they would be are considering you as a family, and that brings you to my last question, but not the least, of course, that when you're looking back, what is the experience you would like to share, with us, which you're very proud of, be it gaming industry or previous experience, in your career, complete career?
Something I'm proud of in my career, in my first career. Well, I love marketing, and every marketer is different, and my specialty is customer acquisition, lead generation. And so I remember very early on in my business role, I used to sleep through my marketing classes. And partly it was because I was like, this is boring. We're talking about branding. We're spending hours talking about whether or not the color should be green or blue. And I didn't quite get it. But as soon as digital marketing came on and it became more of a science, than really an art, that's where I got excited. So no longer do we need to worry about whether or not it's blue or green. We could A/B split test it.
Absolutely.
Not only that, but we could actually take 30 shades of green and 30 shades of blue, and we could multivariate test it.
That actually put logic in marketing, and that actually interests you.
Then it made sense for me as a computer science undergrad and having a scientific, technical mind. All of a sudden, marketing fell in place for me at that point.
Does this help you in, with Evil Genius?
It does. I mean, the one key difference with us is that it takes a while to create a game. So once you're down the path, you're down the path. But the one unique thing about my industry that I am not taking for granted is the tremendous amount of customer feedback loop that I have. So as soon as I create a product and release it to my customers, that customer cares deeply about it. And they want to tell me about their experiences with that product. They want to tell me what's good, what's bad. They want to help improve it to make it better. And so really my community is now really helped shaping, building the products that we make.
Absolutely. So we would like to close this podcast with some advice for our newcomers who would like to develop games in this industry or market tabletop games. Any advice you would like to give our visitors or watchers or viewers?
Well, the first thing I could say is if you actually want to get into the tabletop gaming industry, you got to really love it because you're doing it for the love. You're not necessarily doing it for the money. But there's so many wonderful opportunities and ways that you can start. For example, if you're an artist, you could start submitting your portfolio to people like me. We're always looking for great artists. We're always looking for people that can create great expression for the types of beautiful games that we create. If you're a writer, not only could you sort of write for us, but you could actually write your own games and you could actually publish it on amazing websites like DM's Guild, which is basically designed for fans to create their own gaming products. See, if you want to write your own board game, you could actually do that. And you could actually go to spiels. And what a spiel is essentially a prototyping session that happens at gaming conventions where people like me who are just fans will come in and test your game for free and give you feedback right on the spot. Absolutely. There's so many amazing ways to enter the space, and it doesn't require a degree. It doesn't require $1 million. It just requires a little bit of passion and energy in order to do that.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, David, for such a insights from the industry, a vertical which is not that explored right now, but then still have a space in our hearts that is tabletop games, and we would love to know more about it and other versions and know more about tabletop games and explore able genius games. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you for having me.